Tiger from Tiger Gardens, and welcome to my debut show, Anyone Can, and Everyone Should. Every week I'll be showing you what we're gardening and what we're canning to hopefully inspire your desire to do the same. Welcome to episode 2 of Tiger Gardens TV, the off-season tomato episode. As you know, our favorite vendor at the farmer's market is Fruitful Vines, so we only get our tomatoes from May to October every year. So I'm making salsa in January. However, the tomatoes came from during the year and we just preserved them. In this case, we got them in 2024 and Tim froze them. So he got a couple of bags out of the freezer and they've been thawing for 2 days. And now we're going to make salsa. We always have mild, medium, and hot salsa at the farmer's market. And left over from last year, we have plenty of medium salsa and hot salsa. This is State Fair winning hot salsa. So we have these salsas from this year. We don't have a mild salsa, so I'm going to can mild salsa using tomatoes that were thawed from being frozen for over a year ago. Now, these are still in-season tomatoes, even though they've been preserved. And as you know, you can't find local tomatoes from the grocery store from October to May. Now, take my challenge. At any time between October and May of any year, go to the grocery store and look on the little stickers on the little tomatoes, and you will find that they are only from Canada and Mexico. And my question is, don't we have greenhouses in the United States? Apparently not, because in all the grocery stores, our tomatoes during a certain time of a year come from Canada and Mexico. Now, I love both countries. I've been to both countries, but I don't want my fruits and vegetables coming from there, especially tomatoes, because tomatoes are perishable and they don't last on long trips. They don't travel well. And if you have to come over the border, that means they have to be picked underripe in order to make the trip, in order to be firm enough to make the trip. So that's why I prefer local tomatoes. We are going to make salsa. Normally I would start with blanching the tomatoes, but I don't think we have to do it. I don't remember if they have been blanched or not, or cored or not, or if they still have the skins on them. So we'll go through the entire process. I think they'll end up being a little bit mushy once everything's canned. However, I'm going to do a taste test with our salsa and store-bought salsa, and I bet our salsa is going to win on flavor. We'll see. Here are the tomatoes from October of 24, and they look pretty good. They look like they're in pretty good shape. So we're going to get them out of the bags and get everything into the pot. We've got some frozen onions and some green pepper and some red pepper. So we're going to put all of this and our spices into our big pot. It looks like they've already been skinned, so this is going to be easy. We're going to get them in the pot and get everything cooking and see how it tastes. So we're going to make a lot of wonderful salsa. There are 2 bags of tomatoes, gallon bag tomatoes from 2024 and 2025. And we also have onions and green bell pepper and a lot of red bell pepper, but I didn't want to save any back because any that we would save at this point would turn out really mushy. So it looks like we have a lot of great vegetables with a lot of good integrity, and we're going to add our spices now and bring everything to a boil. So now we add the spices, and that starts with 2.5 teaspoons of cumin, 2.5 teaspoons of coarse black pepper, and 2.5 tablespoons of pickling salt. Add 1.25 cups of apple cider vinegar and bring to a boil. And now for the game-changing ingredient, 1/3 cup of sugar. Omit it at your own peril. I'm sorry, I like to have as little sugar in everything as possible, especially added sugar, because we're trying to reduce the chemical additives and the sugar and all that stuff so that the stuff we make at home is healthier. But man, that 1/3 cup of sugar is a game changer. And finally, we're going to add an entire can of tomato paste. Try and thicken this up a little bit. And then maybe dice the tomatoes because most of them are whole. They automatically cut when they break down, but it might be worth it to dice them a little bit on our own. But look at that salsa. It looks pretty good so far. And I would actually like a little more color in here, so I'm going to dice up a yellow bell pepper and a green bell pepper. And now we're going to let this cook down for an hour. And now we need to chop up the cilantro. Now we've made our salsa, and it's time for the ultimate test. Let's do a taste test between, let's see, Red Gold salsa. My husband went and got the leading salsas at the grocery store, and Pace chunky salsa. So here we are with ours and Red Gold right there. And Pace right here. And here we go with our taste test. Let's go left to right. Red Gold is the first entry. That's very good. Ours is entry number 2. That's good. And finally, entry number 3. This is Pace. Mm. It's a little tangy, I have to admit. But here, back at our wonderful off-season tomatoes. Mm. 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 It's just less tangy. Less of the, I don't know, less of the vinegar flavor, I guess. And it's just nicer. It's just a softer flavor. Mm. Very good. The reason I did this video is to show you how easy it is to get stuff in the summertime, freeze it, and then make it in the wintertime. And it's essentially free. Of course, our salsa was going to win the taste test, but we've been making salsa for a long time, so I know how to do this. But these salsas were pretty good too. It's just that I know the tomatoes that went into this. I think these are equally good. However, I don't think these were tomatoes that were grown in a greenhouse starting January 1st in Sullivan, Illinois by the nicest people on the face of the planet. I just don't know where these tomatoes came from. So I'd like to think that they came from a good source, but I'm confident that these came from a better source. So if you grow your own, then in the wintertime, you know that these came from your garden. If you got these from the farmer's market, then you know that you got these from the farmer's market. So there's a certain amount of satisfaction in having salsa in the wintertime. And I know exactly where these tomatoes came from. It just adds to the flavor, and it tastes like summertime. Mm. Most of our tomatoes we get from Fruitful Vines, another vendor at the market. And we've had a good relationship with them for the last couple of years. So this year I was invited out to see the entire process from when they plant the first seeds to when they harvest throughout the market. And this visit had every metaphor of January built into it because they had a new baby born on New Year's Day. So we get to see the baby and we get to see them plant the first seeds and talk about the entire process. And then this year, we'll get to see everything from when they sprout and when they put them in the greenhouse and then when they plant them in the big greenhouse. So we get to see these beautiful tomatoes and talk about how they're made. The tomatoes they provide are such a big part of Tiger Gardens. Look at everything that we make because of Fruitful Vine tomatoes.
42 or something like that. Was it? Or 52? 42. Now, we have some orange here, but
So then, where did you get these seeds?
Crop King is where we get most of our tomato seeds from.
Do you get them in the mail, or
yes.
do you go?
They are. Crop King is from Lodi, Ohio. They are one of the largest hydroponic suppliers in the area.
So these are specific for hydroponic?
They are bred for that. They don't have to. You don't have to. You can plant them in the soil. You don't have to be hydroponic specific with them at all.
What do you do first? You've got some containers here.
should we dump them in?
Yep. Which ones do you have? The orange?
Yeah, these are
Yeah,
good.
do those.
There's not very many in here, but I guess you don't need very many either. Let me see if they're so tiny.
Probably only 50 in there. We're going to plant all of them.
How many
We'll
did you
just
get?
go flat. These are still leftover seeds from last year, so it's
Oh,
we got
okay.
100 at a time. We're just going to plant them all and just let's do a whole flat of these and we'll see what the
I think that's
germination.
actually gonna make a whole flat.
Pretty close, should be.
And then, is it one variety? Do you have different varieties?
So We typically have 3 varieties we plant in the hydroponic one. This year we're doing 4. Trying a different variety on our beef steak, like the big red ones. We're trying just a few plants.
Okay.
To see how they do. Because they just discovered this year, Big Dina was the ones that we raised normally. They don't make those anymore. Had a big crop failure, I guess, and so they just quit them. So we had to go with a different one. Geronimo is the one that we're going with this year.
Yeah, so why hybrid, not heirloom?
Mostly because of consistency in production. For as long a season as we go, it's difficult to get consistent production off of it. Now we're trying heirlooms this year, not in the hydroponic, but in the soil. We're going to do heirlooms this year.
Okay.
But mostly because an heirloom will produce and then it'll back off. It'll produce, it'll back off. So it goes through slumps. Whereas these are more steady throughout the whole season. So that's a big factor for us.
How many seeds are you putting in each
Just
little
one.
hole? Okay. And then do you add water? Okay, now tell me, what are these?
So this is rock wool. These are rock wool cubes, the little cubes. Because when we go to plant these, we'll pull this little square off of this thing and plant that into the pot.
And how many flats of that do you have?
We do 11 flats and 98 count?
Yeah, or 97. Well, do you want to get you need to put the back of a pencil crayon works the greatest.
Oh,
And the
well,
sun.
you have a pencil.
You get only a couple. You just bring your patch pencil crayons.
Yeah.
I have to keep track of where you are.
What we do after we plant them, we take a pencil and push the seed down a little bit. And then we cover these with newspaper and we'll water them first. Soak them down in water and then cover them with newspaper so that it's dark. And then as soon as the seeds sprout, which takes 3 to 4 days, then we pull the newspaper off and they grow from there.
This cube then is going to end up in its own pot?
Yes.
Then?
We actually plant 2 per pot. We have a pot that's about a foot square, foot high, and we plant 2 plants per pot. And each one of these gets planted into the pot.
How long will it take to sprout? You said 3 to 4 days?
3 to 4 days to sprout, and then in about 4 weeks we transplant out.
4 weeks it'll be
They are, yep, they get about
like that
high.
time.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. There, can we even see it yet? This little seed right there. Cool. Okay, so after they sprout, they're just a couple of they're like an inch tall. That's when you put them under the grow light?
Yes.
Okay.
They are under the grow light for about 4 weeks.
For how many hours a day?
Grow lights only, we have basically a dusk to dawn kind of thing. It's on a timer, a sensor that senses once it gets dark in the evening. We usually have it on. It adds about, just for 2 weeks, we add about 6 hours.
Okay.
And then we back it off to 4.
Nice. There we go.
42 or something like that. Was it? Or 52?
42 back doubles you did.
There we go.
And how many you missed yet?
I won't bother.
So much for not having quite enough seeds here that I thought maybe.
Too bad I don't have any.
You've got plenty?
Well, there's a few extra, but not terribly. That's not good. I got about 1.
What kind of tomato is that?
What kind is it?
What kind is that?
Cayman is the variety we're raising. go.
There's some pretty red stuff.
Yeah. See, this is what we're raising this year.
What are those?
They're all Cayman. This.
Yeah, we got.
See, that one there's more shiny. The bottom, like it's
Yeah, these are
getting a little more shiny.
these are looking all right.
Gorgeous.
That one's not super red.
They're still pretty firm.
So why do they look so good? What's your secret?
That's my secret. No, we're just following a program, so it's not. Things are looking well this year.
What's the difference between this year and last year?
Simply the spray damage. Last year was we got spray drift, herbicide drift from the neighboring farmers, and this year there's no problem. So things are looking super well.
Did you have to talk to them, or
We talked to them last year, yes. Yeah, we complained about it. And they know about it. They knew that we had the greenhouse, and it's just a matter of communication. If they tell us before they spray, we can close things up and it's fine. But last year was a challenging year for everybody, just because it was so warm early and weed pressure was high, and they were spraying early, and it just didn't work very well. It's looking really nice.
So take me through this year. When did you start?
We started our seeds January 1st. I think the first
31.
December 31 actually this year. Yes. And planted out here in the first week of February, I believe it was, first or second week. And we transplanted into this greenhouse. And here we are. What is this? May
5th.
May 5th. Yep. And
So-
we're starting harvest.
So you weren't able to come to market this past Saturday, but you will be here.
We will be the next one, yes.
Okay.
We almost could have this Saturday, but we felt it was better to just let them wait. We were it's too easy to pick them too soon. You know, this one here looks nice, but it's not fully ripe yet. It's pretty firm. It would be all right to eat, but it's better if we wait a little longer. So it's always, we've had a lot of cloudy days in March, and also first part of April, which is why they aren't ripe. The weather was warm enough, we kept it warm enough in the greenhouse, but it has to have sunshine for them to ripen fast, and so that's why we are where we are, as slow as it's technically, time-wise, we should be picking plenty by now, but because of the cloudy weather, it slows things down a little bit.
So you would consider these slightly underripe?
This one here is good. This one is slightly underripe. You can see like it's more orange. This one is deeper red, and this little one here is pretty much good to go as well. But these would still probably last 2 weeks before they'd be bad. Like they'll still be fine.
So when you pick for the market, how many days ahead would you say you pick to get it ready for market?
So we tried to pick fully ripe, but we picked Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and just keep them that time and sell everything Saturday. So we try to sell Mondays first, and then Wednesdays, and then Fridays. We kind of have them separated out so that we get our ripest ones first.
So that's why I love to talk about the farmer's market, because it's hours to table. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So speaking of fresh, for one, we're picking fully ripe. So we're not harvesting all, just barely turning color and then waiting for them to ripen. We're selling what we have picked that week. It's all current. Every once in a while, we'll have some that'll last 2 weeks, and we'll sell those at a slightly discounted price, but they're still very fresh and very good. So yeah, that's what it takes to keep it fresh.
So when you say they're fully ripe, how long will they last if I buy them at the market on Saturday?
Typically, you have for sure a week, and sometimes a week and a half, 2 weeks. But for sure a week. You should be able to last that long.
When you start picking now, these are going to last through October.
Yes. Yeah, so we start picking, we have a 6-month harvest window from the 1st of May to the end of October. Largely due to the fact that we are raising hydroponically, which is a little easier to keep a plant alive longer. And it's also an indeterminate plant, which just keeps right on growing. And these plants will be 25 feet long. The vines will be 25 feet long by the end of the season.
How tall are they now?
They are
6 feet?
Yeah, about 6 feet. We're super happy with the way these plants are looking this year. So far, not even remotely had any disease. They're a vigorous plant, and they look like they will be producing quite well. As you can see right here, that's a very full cluster. We have 7 tomatoes on that cluster. It's a new variety for us. Cayman is the variety, and we're very happy with them. They look like they will be outproducing the Big Dina that we had raised previously. So, pretty excited about that. So that's our fertilizer injection system. It's pulling, as you can see, out of those 3 barrels. 2 of those barrels have fertilizer in them. One has a pH adjusting solution, and that's how we feed the plant.